thank you very much, really. And thank you, a very big thank you to Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. And as I was saying, oh, I love that. I love that chart. I love that graph.
That was brilliant. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Rescue Michigan live stream. Of course, that was Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, the site of his shooting just months ago, I guess. July 13th it was. As I was saying, let me tell you about that immigration chart I had on the screen there.
Right, as I was saying, that's really funny.
Yeah. I cannot believe the vice presidential debate was only 5 nights ago. It feels like it's been a month and a half or more. Anyway, what's up, guys? Barry Altman, he's got the stream on the screen. We're going to have some kind of...
this is like Inception. Ooh.
Yeah, Inception's going to portal effect or something. How you doing, man? So you are in, if I'm not mistaken, the new Trump Victory Center in Hamtramck. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Nice. It looks beautiful in there, too. You got the wood paneling and everything.
Oh, well, actually, that's not where I'm at right this second.
Oh, okay. Well, you have a fine-looking studio right behind you in that case. And also, I heard you guys have an awesome Trump Victory Center in Hamtramck, which I don't believe we've ever had a Republican Victory Center in Hamtramck. Not for a long time, at least.
Not only is it nice, but, man, the energy around the building and in the neighborhood, the whole city of Hamtramck was just awesome. And you had to be there to actually believe it, brother. It was outstanding. I've never seen anything like it short of a Trump rally.
Yeah, I've got some photos. Hold on, let me bring this up on the screen.
Barry. Is Hamtramck in your district that you're running for?
It is. All of Hamtramck, all of Highland Park, and most of the east side of Detroit, south of 6 Mile.
East side of Detroit. Okay. Yep.
So this is the scene this is the line out the door.
That's the line.
Get into a Republican Victory Center, which I got to say, we've got an office in Ann Arbor. We've never had a line out the door to come into our office, not even
that would be an amazing story that the Detroit News will never air.
never in a million years.
That's amazing.
Let me see if
Reuters was there, but I don't think we got any local, no major local coverage.
Why bother? Why cover the fact that there's a Detroit Victory Center in Hamtramck with the whole bunch of...
It's a movement. This is a movement.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, there's the crowd there. I'll get to that.
And really, even those pictures don't really do it justice, man. I'm telling you, and see, like even that picture there, you had no idea. It was like cram packed in there at a certain point. So it was like the line started at like 4 o'clock, and by 5 o'clock when we started taking those pictures, it was kind of full. But man, by 5:30, it was standing room only, shoulder to shoulder in there.
Wow. Yeah, there's you. I don't know who those other two gentlemen are.
That's Tom Bartz, who does a lot of the security stuff for Trump and GOP. And the other gentleman is a business owner in Hamtramck.
Right on. Is it Amir Ghalib? That's the guy's name, right?
Correct.
Yeah. The mayor of Hamtramck, who endorsed Trump.
Yep. Oh, he was in his glory. Yeah. I can tell you that mayor has probably never had that kind of rush and attention and just like I said, man, people. He was like a rock star in there, and everybody was interviewing him. I got him early to get that picture with him.
Right on.
Yep.
There's you there, of course.
That was getting the setup. That's a new Republican group that's forming in Hamtramck. That's the dad at the far right, and right over my, if you can see over my right shoulder, that's his son. That's his group of new GOP. I don't know. He wrote down his information, but I haven't gotten back to it yet. But anyway, they're a new group, a new GOP group, and you know the guy at the far left there with the cowboy.
Oh well, yeah, dude. He's the. I feel like, and maybe American backing up this. Isn't that guy connected to Sonny Reddy's campaign? Perhaps.
Correct. And he does a lot of the videography.
Steven. He's with the Log Cabin Republican National.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Hey, even more coalitions. So there you go.
He was the campaign manager, and now I'm technically the campaign manager for Sonny Reddy.
Oh, well, let's not get into the gory details about what palace intrigue that might
Palace
mean.
intrigue.
Well, I don't know.
No, he got a job working national, and it was great. It's a great area for him. Steven's amazing.
Okay.
So it's definitely all great. That's awesome.
So,
Well,
Amber, you're doing Sonny Reddy's campaign now?
Yeah, I'm doing Sonny Reddy's. I've been with him for about a month now. I've kind of been all over the place.
I had no idea. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, well,
Anybody who can forward you.
Oh, hardly. I'm like pennies on the dollar, seriously. But no, it's it was a good shift. I took a vacation, I came back, and Sonny needed help, and I wasn't really in an apparatus with anybody, and I said, why not? And it's been great because I haven't been in party functions, because I think that after the primary of a convention, we need to get out into the general and out into the public. And I've really shifted. And I was just telling Adam before the stream that I'm around people I don't know, which is awesome, because that's where we have to be to win elections. So it's been great.
Yeah, Sonny has. I have to believe he's got a bunch of ties in the Indian community around Metro Detroit.
His pictures look like it for sure. He's hitting up all the events. And then Amber's like, yeah, we gotta get you a sorry.
Yes, well, I know. Diwali's coming up, but no, I went to 3 Indian events last night, and then today we were around the Asian and Pacific Islanders Association had a meet and greet, and it was just it was very nice, and it's minority communities that feel abandoned by both sides, and that's where my passion lies. So I'm just so energized, especially with Hamtramck, kind of just bringing minorities together. It's amazing.
Yeah, we gotta get you over in Highland Park.
I know. Let's go.
Hang out over here.
Yeah, I used to work with a guy who was an Indian, but he was a Sikh, and he said, "Yeah, no one ever reaches out to us, and we're completely in play." His dad voted for Democrats and Republicans, and well-to-do family in Troy. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Yeah, if people would talk to us, we'd be happy to listen." But yeah, that outreach stuff does actually help. It really does. So
it 100% does.
No, everybody should just go to rallies.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started with that, Patty. I feel like, remember when, like 4 or 5 months ago, with the People's Convention, when you're like, I'm not going to the People's Convention, I'm going to the rally, or I'm going to go knock doors for Kermie. And I'm feeling that way now with people that are going to the Trump and Vance rallies every week. And I'm like, you're the same freaking people. You're supposed to be on doors. What are you doing? I feel like screaming my head off.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I've never been to a Vance rally. I have been to a Trump rally, and I feel like I've been to enough Trump rallies. Like, don't get me wrong, they seem great, but you can watch them online. You don't have to go there and spend the 12 hours going through the security checkpoint. But yeah, and
Vance is in Detroit on Tuesday.
He said Eastern.
I know.
Yep. Yeah. Randy says, knock the door, skip the rally. I know. And someone just showed me they got a photo with JD Vance today, and like I was kind of jealous a little bit.
Dale Biniecki got one.
Huh?
Who?
Dale Biniecki got one. Did you see Dale's?
That was it. Dale Biniecki. Yes, I went to Dale's door date today, and yeah, he and his wife got pictures with JD, and I was jealous.
I'm super jealous of that too. That's the one thing I've been asking everybody that I would love to owe me a favor, but nobody really owes me anything.
You know what? Guess what I would wear if I got a picture with JD Vance?
What?
Michigan National Championship.
Of course you would.
Duh.
Yeah.
That's what I really want. I want a picture with JD. He's my hero. I see him as the future of the party. I would do anything to help him. I think JD Vance, I think the world of him. So
yeah. And I think they're gonna win, and looking forward to that. I did see there was this turd article out about if Trump loses, who's gonna take over the GOP? Is it gonna be Liz Cheney? Just like, you guys are fucking on drugs. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, the Trump movement's not going to go away if Trump doesn't make it. They're going to be angrier and more determined than ever to rat out these people. Which I almost did a video of like Liz Cheney endorsing Kamala for the cold open, but it's just too rancid, too disgusting.
Oh, so
we need to do them all. We need to do Pence. We need to do Bush. We need to do all of them in like this big retro movie, and then be like, Democrats, why aren't you uproaring about this?
Yeah. Oh, Randy says, I say skip the rally, but I went to the JD rally and last.
Yeah, Gupster. I mean, you're at a lot of rallies.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I love you, Randy.
Exactly. And where do you get those cinnamon rolls or whatever you eat every
day? The bear claws, but he calls them April fritters.
Oh.
We're going to go to Saturdays and I'll do bear claws.
Warren brought these cronuts from Parlor Donuts. I don't know if they're up in Lake Orion or where they're from. Like, he brought those yesterday. They are a work of art.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't even explain to you. I'm like, yeah. Shout out to Parlor Donuts.
What's the name of the place? I don't know them. And I used to work for a guy in Lake Orion. So
Parlor Donuts.
Parlor Donuts. Okay.
Let me.
All right. Yeah. Russ says no more rallies unless they're less than an hour away from Jackson. There you go.
Oh my God. I got an email from Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm like, if anybody leaves here and goes to Butler on a Super Saturday, I don't know. I mean, who knows? They probably did, but
I'm sure they did.
Why are they sending me? Why are they sending it to me in Detroit, Michigan?
In all fairness, Patty, you travel for different things like U of M games.
Correct.
Well, U of M games are
they target your movement.
You think? Now, if they did a rally in the Rose Bowl, maybe, but
there you go.
Howard City.
Anyway, so it is October 6th. Now officially 30 days, less than a month from the end of this freaking election, which I can't wait for. But
I cannot wait.
Nobody can wait until this is all over. But and by the way, October 6th, which means in the Middle East it is right now October 7th, and probably something's going to be catching fire. I don't know what's going to happen.
How's a year gone by since that happened?
I know, isn't that crazy?
It feels like it was like a couple months ago, or anyway.
So probably
there was an attack already, and there was an attack already in Haifa.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah, I saw that. There was a few rockets, though. It wasn't like a huge thing, but there is going to probably be something huge from one side or the other, or both, in the next 24 hours, which I think entirely is going to be bad for Kamala and Biden, because it just, every time there's crap going on in the world, it reminds them how the Biden regime, the terrorist regime, has no control over anything anymore at all. Like, just the whole thing is just a complete spiraling out of control disaster. And they are powerless to do anything about it because they're weak and dumb. And
have you guys heard anybody actually actively defending Biden and Harris lately?
No.
Biden's going after Harris. He's like, "Oh, we're tied, not getting, or totally together."
Biden keeps on saying over and over again, "Yeah, everything. We were a team. Everything I did, she did with me. Every single thing."
He wants her to lose so bad.
Yeah. Jay says, what kind of world is it where it's just a few rockets? Well, yeah. Well, a world where there's also a whole lot of missiles, for one thing. But yeah, just a few rockets. I know. But and you know, the scope and scale of things, like everything happening in the Middle East is like happening times 100 in Ukraine, and does not get like remotely the coverage, like something like 1,000 casualties a day in that conflict for the past 2.5 years. And, you know, just whatever. It's just combat, just fun, you know, it's war, you know, like as if this isn't the biggest war in the 21st century. it could spiral out of control. It could be a nuclear holocaust. Just no big deal. There was a story. I don't know if you guys saw this one. It's one of the weirdest stories I've seen about Ukraine yet. I'll put this on the screen here. This is just bizarre. It's not letting me add it. Here's a story. This is in the Atlantic. So, magazine of the elites. The abandonment of Ukraine. The American strategy in Ukraine is slowly bleeding the nation and its people to death, say these two people I've never heard of. And here's the article. We walked through the rubble of a children's hospital targeted by the Russians. That's their way of just kind of insinuating war crimes, not like there might have been a reason, like maybe military people in that hospital or whatever. Anyway, they say, the American strategy in Ukraine, one that gives Ukrainian people just enough military aid not to lose their war, but not enough to win it. Well, how do you not win a war and not lose a war? Yeah, the strategy is slowly bleeding Ukraine and its people to death. That sounds like losing a war. That just kind of sounds like losing a war. Anyway, this goes on. They're talking about, we're going to send these people. We need to give them more money for drones. This guy gives us a great sales pitch about drones. There's a bit in here. Let's see here where they say, where is it? They make here's what they're saying. HIMARS, the long-range rocket artillery that the U.S. has provided a maddeningly slow pace. A year ago, HIMARS was the most in-demand system on the battlefield. Now it has less than a 10% success rate. Each rocket costs $100,000. Therefore, drones are better. And by the way, like everything happening in Ukraine is an arms race. Both sides are developing very, very rapidly. And the United States is somewhere they have the word. Where's the word? Sclerotic. I'm just going to find it here. Yeah. Both armies developing at a pace, leaving the sclerotic U.S. and NATO defense industries behind. And they end this column by saying, the war in Ukraine is at risk of being lost because we have not allowed them to win. You see, guys, we just haven't given them enough money or enough weapons. If we encourage the Ukrainians to fight, we haven't been doing that enough, haven't been encouraging them to fight. Well, for them to give them the tools they need for victory, never mind, what our supplies are or what we're going to give to Israel or fight China or whatever. History will surely conclude the Russians weren't the only ones who committed crimes against Ukraine. I mean, it's a whole article about basically narrative crafting, saying, yeah, Ukraine's losing the war. If only we went absolutely for broke. Give them everything we have. Just give them everything we have. And then they will win. And if they don't win, well, whatever. There's nothing about that. But if they do win, then all of our problems will go away forever. There will be no more military issues. If we just give Ukraine all of our money and weapons, then they will beat the Russians somehow, and then we will all win. And that is the Atlantic magazine. They published this article because they're very smart. They're very smart, and Biden's strategy has been bad, but don't even think about what Trump is suggesting, ending the war. That would just be silly. No. Let's either give them everything we have or let them bleed to death. That's what they say, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Biden regime's plan, or not their plan, whatever their plan. They have no plan. But to blame somebody, not themselves, and also, by the way, whatever Trump's plan is, maybe to get out of the war, that's a bad plan. That's a bad plan. But I don't know. I feel pretty dang good. Can you believe the debate was 5 days ago? I can't believe that debate was 5 days ago. It feels like it was a year and a half ago. I think we had a very good debate. We
got a powerful news cycle, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, it regenerates itself every hour. There's another big headline.
All the headlines I'm seeing are bad for Kamala. Polls looking good for Trump. I saw a +1 poll in Michigan for Trump. I don't remember seeing any poll like that in 2020.
Where's the politics right now?
Does anybody really believe that this race is that close? I can tell you, bro, I don't believe it's even close right now. I mean, I think this is just the media playing, with their thumb on the scale again, as always. There's no way he's only up 1.5 or something like that. I just don't believe it. I'm good with continuing to fight like we're losing.
Yeah, this is not the public opinion poll. This is the betting odds poll. And they have Trump above water and climbing in terms of.
I agree with Jay.
Was Jay say? Yeah, I believe polls don't underestimate the Democrats. Well, I think I would say that's right on both counts, but the polls before 2020 all showed Trump losing. These are all comparative to 2020 looking better. Democrats are way more apprehensive than they were 4 years ago. I'm not saying underestimate them. I wouldn't. We know
2016 said he was losing like crazy too. 2016.
Yeah, 2016, there was the silent Trump voter. I don't think that exists anymore personally, but in 2016, yeah, it did.
Yeah, that, and also the other issue too is in 2016, the Democrats really thought they had it in hand. They didn't think they had to do absolutely everything humanly possible. And after 2016, they're like, we can take nothing for granted. We got to do everything we can at all times, cheat like crazy, lie like crazy, rig the election every way possible, control the media. Everything you can possibly do, nothing is off the table. That's why the whole undermining of Trump happened.
Yeah, I think it was like November 8th or something. There was an article like right after the election, and the guy from Google was like, "This will never happen again," and that's when he started manipulating the algorithms more.
Yeah, this will never happen again, or this can never happen again. Probably both. They probably had the ego.
I don't know. I'd have to find the. I mean, it's probably still out there. But.
I'm sure you're right.
I think the response to the storms right now and the hurricanes, really, every little thing that they're doing helps Trump. Or not doing, I should say.
Yeah, but also remember, guys, we're like, I don't want to say top, like a small minority of people who actually know like what's going on. Door knocking yesterday, this guy was like, what? Like they had no clue that they weren't helping these people. The average person does not know.
Yeah, you know what, man? That is so true. It's hard to believe this world is underinformed like it is. It is unbelievable who doesn't know. Because if people aren't watching Rescue Michigan, if they're not watching Fox News, One America News, or some good bloggers or something, man, they don't have a clue. Because the rest of the mainstream media is all in the bag. They're all helping cover up.
Yep.
Yeah. It's amazing. In Jay's comment, Harris talks about we're going to give all this money to Lebanon and nothing for North Carolina. I mean, that's another big message to take to voters. And you're right, Patty. The media. It's because you remember they brought down the Republicans in 2008 over Bush's response to Hurricane Katrina, and this is every bit as bad, if not worse. Days and days and days go by. Biden does nothing. Harris does nothing. Say nothing. And then they come out and they say, we're going to give them $750.
Yeah.
For their destroyed lives. While the same breath, $8 billion for Ukraine, millions and millions of dollars for Israel, for Lebanon, for blah, 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 blah. Never for Americans. Never. I mean, that is a message that people got to take to voters, folks.
No, but think about how many Lebanese people live in Michigan, right? So they'll be happy.
They know.
They'll be happy that they're helping their family that still lives back over there or whatever, right? So there's a strategy there.
No, no, they don't. They absolutely don't. I know people that know some Lebanese people, including someone that has a house in Lebanon. They are all nauseated by this whole thing, and they are not going to be bought off by a couple of bucks, which is what $175 million is in the big picture. When Israel is literally destroying Beirut. With Biden's permission, they're not happy about that one little bit. Now I don't know, and I really want to have more of a discussion with folks in Dearborn about this whole issue, because there's a lot of them who are saying we're going to vote for neither, which is better than voting for Kamala. But they're going to vote for neither. They say that was the whole uncommitted movement in Dearborn. Then you've got people like Amir Ghalib who are starting this pro-Republican effort in the Arab community. which is very promising. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to think about what Trump just said about Israel. Biden told Israel, just don't bomb Iran's nuclear facilities. That's the first thing they should bomb. Trump said. Probably didn't go over well with them, but I mean, I don't know. Like, that's kind of an anti-war argument, against nuclear weapons in general, but I don't think they're going to see it that way. That probably did not help. It probably did not help getting their vote.
I think to read on the people that were in Hamtramck yesterday was that they really see Trump as the only path to peace. They don't see any peace coming up from the Biden-Harris or the Harris administration. Only peace with Trump. So I think that's the big motivation. Yeah, and a lot of those guys are Lebanese also. It's that population in Hamtramck, there's a lot of Lebanese there.
Yep.
Right. That's good.
I mean, from people from all over the Middle East. And they are a huge voting. I mean, they can be a decisive voting bloc, if they will be. Especially when it's people who were previously a wholly owned subsidiary of the Democrat Party, basically, overwhelmingly voting Democrat. And Jay says, mean tweets and world peace, Trump 2024. We'll see. We'll see. Let's not overpromise too much. Well, mean tweets, I guess. But although Trump's not really tweeting technically, he's truthing, I guess.
Excellent.
He should be.
You ever go on Truth Social?
Elon should have talked to Trump about that when they had that meeting at the rally in Butler. But who knows? Who knows what's going on with all that?
I don't know. It's like scary.
Yeah. Anyway, I did see this one comment. I do want to read this off. This was from this was on X the other day, and it made a pretty big splash from this guy, MC Armstrong, who I have never heard of. He's the author of The Mysteries of Haditha, an American Delphi, winner of a Pulitzer Pushcart Prize. So I guess he's an author. And here's what he writes. To the Democrats, this is my career suicide note, but also a thank you from someone who is done with careerism. I'm a lifelong member of your party, and I'm voting for Donald Trump. Why? It's not just because of your industrial scale censorship or your endless wars or the fact that you disenfranchised millions of Kennedy voters through lawfare. If that were all I had, it would be sufficient in terms of conscience and rage, but there's more to this story than anger. Your hatred and censorship have taught me to admire Donald Trump and to love my fellow working class Americans. And for that, I guess he's not a very successful author. He's calling himself a fellow working class American. But anyway, he says, this vote is for all the traumatized people who have been canceled and banished just for saying no to the establishment. This vote is for the surveyor, the farmer, the HVAC man, the nurse, the hairstylist, the deadhead, the veteran, and my fellow adjunct professors who have told me their stories about being bullied by the Democrats and their friends and family and their colleagues and their colleagues at work. This is for the young black woman in my class last year who, on the day of Kamala Harris's visit to campus, said, "You're going to hate me, Dr. Armstrong, but I'm not going. I'm voting for Donald Trump." Why would she think I would hate her for the way she votes? What has happened to our country? Somehow Donald Trump has changed my mind. Where I once saw a cartoon white supremacist, warmonger, or narcissist, I now see the man who renegotiated NAFTA and the only president in the 21st century not to start a new war. Where I once saw the pal of the neocons, now I see a man who has awoken the slumber and disavowed Dick Cheney, George Bush, and John Bolton, even as my own party embraces these quote-unquote men. Why has the greatest entrepreneur of my generation, Elon Musk, risked his career to side with Trump? Why is the most consequential grassroots environmentalist of my time, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., sacrificed friends, family, and reputation to side with the Orange Menace? Why is the most courageous peace activist of the 21st century, Tulsi Gabbard, left our party? Because Tulsi, Bobby, and Elon see what I see. Donald Trump is resilient and he's risking his life to change the fate of our nation. Trump is transforming the Republican Party into the party of peace, free speech, and the working class. He has converted George Bush's billionaire boys club of big war, big ag, and big pharma into a party that cares about public health and embraces regenerative agriculture. Now, I don't think the GOP is all the way there yet. I would agree. But they're clearly the party that embraces dissent, and dissent, brave speech, is the fuel for evolution. So at the first time of my life, I'm voting Republican in the name of peace in Ukraine and free speech here at home. I'm casting my vote as a Kennedy Democrat for Donald Trump. And there you go.
All right.
So obviously a lot of interesting comments in response to that. I saw Scott Pessler posted, "I urge you to vote. What's your voting address? Let me get you a ballot and application to vote." So he was right on it. But yeah, I mean, that is the undecided. That is the message for the undecideds right there, folks. And there are a lot of
Kennedy Democrats that don't want to, follow the endorsement, right?
Yep. Chris says Harris has no clue what she's doing. She doesn't even care about what happens to the USA. Did you guys see that video where Harris's teleprompter failed, and for like 30 seconds she's like, "We've got 32 days until the election. 32 days. We got 32 days, folks. 32 days. 32 days." Like, this went on for a long time until it.
Oh my gosh, I want to see that.
I didn't see it.
I'll find the clip. It was pretty sad.
Oh, she's so weird.
Yeah. But anyway, so
also a big Trump supporter.
Huh?
Antonio Brown. AB, the football player. He's got some funny tweets. Do you follow him?
No. Okay, hold on. I found the clip. Let me play the clip real quick before I forget. Here we go. Let's see. Here it is.
Oh, look at that face. Oh, God.
I know.
No sound. There's no sound, Adam.
Uh-oh. Where's my line?
You don't even need the sound.
She does repeat herself all the time.
You don't even need the sound. This is great.
It's kind of better. You're right.
Dramatic pause. That was the whole thing. Yeah.
I just loved that moment. Like, you're like,
yeah. And we're the underdog, sure, with all the money in Wall Street and all the apparatus of, the mass media, the government, the deep state, big tech. Yeah, we're the underdog. Sure. Sick. Anyway, do some chat about some get out the vote stuff. That's the theme of tonight's show, guys. Tactics for victory. Man, now that we're in crunch time, like, I have had a few experiences to talk. Maybe you guys have had some experiences too. I have had now not one but two campaigns inform me that they don't need any more help right now, which is I don't want to name any names for now, because I actually do want them to win. But if you all haven't heard the story about the tortoise and the hare, let me tell you, if you think you're going to knock out, Randy's like, what? Oh yeah, Randy. No, Jay says that's a Mike Rogers campaign. Not Mike Rogers. No, Mike Rogers. Mike Rogers, a lot of things. He's not dumb. He's not dumb. I'm talking about some local candidates, and like I said, more than one have informed me they've got enough help. They don't need any more help. Now they might be somehow averse to, I don't know, me and my friends personally, but here's the thing, folks. Very, 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 very few things you can do in politics will actually cause you to lose votes. Maybe some of you wackos out there going door to door might be so bad knocking on doors you actually lose votes for your candidate. But in general, political professionals doing mail, attacking your opponents or singing your praises or doing GOTV calls or whatever, help you win. And if you think that the Democrats are going to just roll over and let you win, and if you think, I'm looking good in the polls, I'm fine, you are a fucking fool. You deserve to lose, and I'll be looking forward to making that phone call when you do. If you think you have this election under control, and you don't need any more help knocking on doors, I can't flip and believe it. So that's the first thing I want to say. Second thing is, if you're organizing a date and you're bringing a bunch of folks out to go knock on doors for you, you better be able to give them lists and send them on their way, lickety split. Because I had a door-to-door day today, and a professional staffer, I won't say for which entity it was, could not give me a list of doors to knock on. in my precinct or even in my county for the campaign he was working for. That's pretty fucking amazing to me, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta say. He eventually gave me after he sees me stuffing 50 plus Washtenaw County voter guides into these little plastic bags to hang on doors. He manages to give me a list in Monroe County where I can't even use them. Okay, fuck it. HRCC, ladies and gentlemen, House Republican Campaign Committee. Because they're so married to their goddamn app. And apparently all the doors in the district have been given out. So they're going to give me some doors someplace else. I heard from someone today, all the lists I've got on my app are 40 to 100 miles away from my house. I heard somebody else say, yeah, this is not even in the district. And yeah, that's why, folks, if you go to rescuemichigan.com, you can get a voter file for your own precinct, and you actually get to keep the data. Like, it's your data. Like, if you want to go out and knock on doors, you can do it any day of the week, anytime at all. And by the way, sometimes going to a house more than once is good. Right? Like, you're giving me this app, and you're saying, you're not going to give me a list of doors in my precinct because you've given that to somebody else already who maybe did it, maybe knocks on the doors, maybe just kind of cheated a little bit and just did a lit drop, because the other thing they do in the House is they actually grade candidates and staffers based on numbers of doors knocked. So they actually incentivize them to lie and cheat. You know, maybe you haven't given my precinct the due diligence it deserves as the biggest precinct in the district in the county for your candidate. Maybe you want someone to go and knock those doors a second time. You know, maybe just to see if the results line up. Maybe. No, didn't do that.
Adam, they're just children. Be nice.
Who's just children?
The people running with HRCC.
Yeah, they are. Well, and politicians in general. I'm not saying my guy is. I like Dale Benicki. Dale's a good guy. But, you know, someone was talking about, this is unrelated, but since Amber, you said children, they were talking about how, what was the story? It was something about Boris Johnson. And it's about what a big baby he is and all these other European politicians. Anyway, the point being, yeah, these guys are all egomaniacs. They all act like babies. Why are they using this stupid Sidekick app? Oh, I just heard today. Here's what someone told me today. He says, I just want an ink and paper list. I just want a list on paper I can use because I can't get this phone app to work. Now, I tried using my phone app today. First thing it does, you click the link to get to the list that's in the other county, and the map zooms in to this intersection, which I can't see what the heck this is. So I start zooming out, and it's in Texas. I eventually, you know, now I'm pretty quick with the Google Maps, so I can start to zoom and pan over, and I eventually find the list, and there it is. And I zoom back in again. I click the household, and there's a household, and then I back out because I'm looking at something else, and I go back again. I click to open the map again. Texas. Folks, if you're knocking on doors, your phone might die. There might not be a reception. The app might crash. Your battery might have an issue. It might be slow. Voters don't like to see you, by the way, playing with your phone, knowing what you're doing, but they're all using the app. Why? Because they can monitor it, because some consultant's getting money from it. And it's like, it's so stupid, guys. If you want Trump to win, if you want your local candidates to win, get a voter list and knock on doors and help them. And if you have to, because that app fucking blows, just knock on every goddamn door on the street. And you'll probably be more effective than you will playing their games. Let me show you this. I'll show you what I had.
Both ways with pen and paper and apps. I've used the i360 app. I've used Campaign Sidekick. In general, I do like the apps. The apps are much faster.
Yeah. This is the
pen and paper was so slow, and it was not good.
Well, worked fine for me. Yeah, this is the map I got today, and yeah, this is some random place in Texas. This is what it gave me. Look at this thing at the top. This site can't load Google Maps correctly. Do you on this website? Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
that was on the top of mine too. I don't remember that 2 years ago.
Yeah. This is the map it gave me, by the way, folks. Oh yeah. That's a very sensible order to go knock on those doors in, isn't it? At least the paper, like you go to Rescue Michigan, it does them all by street, which obviously sometimes you can do a partial street, then go down a side street. Does that make sense? This is the list it gave me. There's address number 2 next to number 94. There is no address number 1. That just doesn't exist for some reason. And yeah, so yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, 47, 49, 48. So it looks like that's 48 over here. Completely out of order.
Well, when you zoom in on those, Adam, don't they like straighten themselves out and get in better sequence?
I don't know. I'm not.
That's what I saw.
They do.
I'm giving this login to someone in Monroe County so they can go knock on the door, because I've got bags in Washtenaw County with my candidates in them, and I can get my own damn data, and I can knock on doors in my precinct. So I can say, hey guys, I'm your neighbor. I live on Carpenter Road. Do you know who Andrew Fink is? You know, because that's a nice opener, right? Andrew Fink, hey, the guy for Supreme Court, the Republican nominee for Supreme Court. And then I can talk to you about the other Republicans, talk about Trump. You know, they give you this app. They also give you this robotic survey to tell them, hey, can you just answer a few questions for me,
20
please?
questions. People do not want to answer those questions. They don't want to reveal that stuff, how they're voting and like, no, stop. Are you going to vote for so-and-so? And like, literally, I'm not telling you that. Like, they're not going to, I don't even know why. Anyway.
Yeah. If you're going to do what works. If you care about getting your candidates elected, don't just do what these people tell you to do. You know, be like a self-directed local grassroots leader, and you can bring up the whole team. And if the campaign's like, well, I want you to use sidekicks, say, okay, well, I want you to win, so I'm not going to. Seriously.
Amber's been trying to speak.
What, Amber?
Oh no, I'm just saying goodnight. I gotta go tuck my kids in. That's why I haven't been on lately. I've been balancing mom life with them in school and everything else, but I love being on with you guys.
Joining us, Amber. Didn't you have a story for us? I felt like you had a story for us, but if you don't have one, that's fine. I'm glad you came on anyway.
Oh, I have so much to bitch about, but when I get on here, I'm just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Save it all for November 6th.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm hoping that we can still get Friendsgiving together, but I don't know if we're gonna have a location. So if Vance is watching, remember to call.
That Belle Isle is not allowing events or something.
No, so Vance Conservatory tomorrow. Call. Okay, guys, you have a wonderful night.
All right, you too, Amber. I'm trying to find this document, which I thought was available on our website someplace, and now I'm having trouble finding it. But I want to, I can pull up anyway. I'll make it more easily available after this stream is over. But there is a manual called the Precinct Action Course that really goes into how to win your precinct. Yeah, here it is. I got it here now. Let me pull it up real quick on the screen so you guys can see. This is a very old manual from literally the 1950s. And everything that they talk about in this book is, first of all, still relevant, but also
you talked about this before. Yep.
It actually goes back to, copyright 1962. And this is actually techniques they're borrowing from 1862, if you can believe it or not. And so this is, I think, from the back page. Really causes gains. And what they teach you to do is basically what they call the Abe Lincoln 4-step, which is these two things. First, survey your precinct, then identify the voters. This is these sessions are in a different grouping. The Abe Lincoln 4-step is, let's see here. Here it is. Number 1, make a complete list of every eligible voter in the precinct, which is what we already do for you. You get a voter file. Step 2, determine the leanings of the voters. Step 3, persuade the undecided people to vote your ticket. And step 4, see to it that those who are on your side show up. And that is the technique. That's all there is to it, folks. If we had a precinct-based strategy instead of this crazy candidate-based strategy where all these candidates are competing for people's attention all the time, and just taught people, here is how you run your precinct.
Yep.
We would be winning by leaps and bounds. Anyway, I'll make sure on this on our website, this is still available. If you get your voter file, it will be on the Grassroots HQ page. But everything they say here is still true to this day. Organization is the most important factor. That's also what Morton Blackwell always says, the guy who runs Leadership Institute. Victory usually goes to the side that has the most best trained activists. And it's all about precinct organization. Anyway, I'm not going to read this whole book for you guys now. I'll make it available at rescuemichigan.com. But if you go to our website, you can get your voter file for your entire precinct. And it'll be very, very current. Like current to the week you bought it. It's like $35. 1 to now 5,000 voters, thanks to the new precinct law that expanded the number of voters in a precinct from 3,000 to 5,000. And you can identify people, folks. You can identify on our list are Trump donors. You want to start a local, GOP club? We have lists of people who have given money to Republicans in your own neighborhood. Get together with them. And now knocking on doors is suddenly very easy to do. And you can talk to people. It's so much easier to talk to people, and you're like, I'm your neighbor. I live around the corner from you. I'm supporting Andrew Fink for state Supreme Court and Pat O'Grady because I'm a Republican. Did you know who the Republicans are in that race? No? Here's our voter guide. Let me tell you about our guy for state representative. Let me tell you about our guy for county commission. Chris Gursky says, I got a flyer from my city clerk's office. How, when, and where to vote. I include a copy of that in my flyer with all my lit when I'm going door to doors. It sure does help. Yeah, there you go. Democrats have done so much to change the election laws that people are confused now how to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Alga News says nowadays with same day registration, almost everyone is an eligible voter. If you integrate to potential voter advertising, ID, and other external data to target. Well, yes, now almost everyone is an eligible voter. And even if they're not eligible, they might be enrolled anyway. But you know what, though? Those that don't vote for a reason. The reason being they don't care. So the best targets still are the ones that actually do show up. Yeah, you might be able to get some of their sorry butts to vote that are not regular voters, but by and large, the target is the real voters. Low propensity voters.
That's been an entire strategy, the low propensity for like so many people.
Yeah, low and mids. And there's and again, folks, I think people are drastically underestimating the swing voters percentages because we're all in our own, echo chambers. We're all conservatives on this show. Probably people watching, most of them are, and Democrats are the same way. They talk to Democrats. They can't imagine someone voting for Trump. And the reality is there's a huge amount of people out there who have mixed feelings about both Democrats and Republicans. You don't, take the time to show them, hey, how is life like under Trump versus life under Biden and Harris? And make them really think about it. And that's, by the way, why Trump is turning up in the polls right now.
Well, that brings to mind a situation I just had. Matter of fact, this was Friday. Man, I had AFL-CIO coming knocking on my door for Kamala Harris, right? And it was
by their wages.
Right, exactly. And a black man and a black woman. And when I got through talking to him, the man told me, he said, man, you know what? I agree with everything you're saying. He said, and actually, I'm an independent. That's what he told me. He said, I'm really an independent.
I'm being paid to come to your door by the dues we extracted under penalty of being fired.
Well, hey, maybe you got him to vote for Trump. Good job.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think when most people, when you actually get an even playing field where you can actually exchange information, it's hard for people to defend Kamala Harris. It's really difficult to defend them when somebody's actually, unless you just got a media cut, like you got a debate where the moderators are already in the bag for the Olympics, But when you get a real conversation going and people are actually exchanging information, it's hard to defend. It's hard to defend that Democrat crowd. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark Ashley Price said, Drummond, did that situation happen in Highland Park?
It was right at my house.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of there is clearly a massive shift going on between the two parties that's crystallizing now with the Cheney swamp warmongering trash going over to the Democrat Party and the serious populist patriotic Democrats like Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi coming over to the Republican Party. And almost on that, obviously if you're talking to voters, they're all different and people have different issues, and you know, sometimes it's labor stuff and sometimes it's foreign policy stuff, but knowing nothing else, like that is the thing to tell people about. Like there's a big change coming, man, and all the nasty lobbyist Republicans that people used to hate are now all going to the Democrat side, and all the decent, conscientious, people that care about America, Democrats, are coming to the Republican side. And you can see that's why the establishment, the power structure, you can throw all those words out. That's why all of them, all the big bankers, the Wall Street people, that's why they're all supporting Kamala, because they know she's an empty suit who'll just do whatever the hell they say. You know, and the Democrats have embraced that. They've turned away from free speech. They've turned away from the working stiff and all that stuff. You just kind of throw that at them because that's what will work.
Turned away from heterosexuality.
Yeah. Yeah, Don Cruz says voters are tired of being taken for granted and lied to. They want someone to look at them in the eye at their front porch and tell them the truth. Speaking of that, I will say this. I was talking to someone the other day who was like an anti-war, disaffected liberal Democrat who is now supporting Trump and has a lot of friends who are kind of near that, but not necessarily Trump supporters. And she was upset about what Trump said about Iran the other day. About Israel should bomb Iran's nuclear plant, doesn't know what to do. Maybe she'll vote for Jill Stein. And I said, well, look, there's going to be one of two presidents. It's either going to be Donald Trump or it's going to be Kamala Harris. She's like, I know, I've heard this a million times, this lesser of two evils stuff. And listen, I understand. I'm the first person to say, don't support the lesser of two evils. I don't believe Trump is evil.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I kind of fleshed out, I was like, look, I know he's fucked up. And I know there's voters out there that think he is fucked up on a lot of things, hiring John Bolton, for example. But he's not an evil man. Kamala Harris is evil, and you can see it in everything she says and what she does and who she hires.
Exactly.
So
and the policy she promotes.
Yeah, sometimes give and take really does help too. Like if voters say there's reasons I don't like Trump, I have reasons not to like Trump too. But let me tell you why I'm still voting for him. Like that's going to be a lot better than no, you're wrong. Trump's actually perfect. Don't believe the media. When you're attacking what voters say, they are going to be done with you. If they think you're talking down to them, if they think you know better than they do, they are going to be done with you. But when you say, I completely agree, I understand why you would think that. But let me tell you why I still think we should vote Republican. Like that's when their minds open.
I hope so. I hope people can do that way. There seems to be a lot of Trump worship.
Yeah. Well,
people, I was accused of that. I was on some radio show a couple of weeks ago, early in the morning on a Sunday. Anyway, this guy, he's going, yeah, man, but my problem with Trump supporters is they think he's God, they think he's this, and they think. I said, no. I said, you guys are saying this. I said, but every Trump supporter has a caveat about Trump. We've got like one or two, or maybe even a handful of things we don't really like about him. But when you contrast him with Kamala Harris, or even the Democrats in general, you come out with a better candidate, period, across the board. And even that lady at Reuters who interviewed me from Reuters yesterday in Hamtramck, she tells me, she says, well, I don't think he's really a good role model, and because I was promoting him and saying, well, he's a alpha male. The guy's a leader. I said, he may have been born rich, but he really built a huge fortune, a lot more. I said that's an American dream. That's a good story. And she said, well, I don't think he's a good. This is the reporter, the journalist, telling me, well, I don't think he's a good role model because he said about those women, he grabbed them by the what and blah, blah, blah. I said, do you realize most men talk like that at some point in their lives?
Yeah.
I said, do you realize? I said, I've got female cousins who have given me that same line. I said, but the truth is, they didn't like him before they even knew that. And then not just that, but I've heard my female cousins talk nastier than that comment that Trump made. And not just that, but I said, and also Kamala Harris has had 2 relationships with 2 married men. Come on, I mean, what is she the role model, or is is that the standard now? We're looking for who's the best role model.
Who's the second one?
Who's the guy, the talk show host?
Who?
Montel?
Montel Williams.
Was he married then, or was that what? I don't know. That was when.
The pictures I've seen with him, it was her and his wife and Montel Williams together.
Was that other lady his wife in those pictures?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so they were a throuple.
Well, I mean, the implication is there, but I mean, I guess it was never disputed that they were a couple at one point, that she was involved in a relationship with Montel, and obviously
they were holding hands in the video.
Well,
you see the video portion of that, but I don't know.
I would say, in response to the Access Hollywood tape, first off, almost everything that the media has said about Trump has been an outright complete lie regarding his personal life.
That Access Hollywood tape was like 8 years ago, you guys. Wasn't it like in October or September?
It was more than that, but I mean, if you take the Access Hollywood tape head on, the point I would make is that not only is it locker room talk, but there's also a huge element of peer pressure involved. That when someone starts talking shit to another, when a guy starts talking shit to another guy, the pressure is now on to reciprocate what he's saying, not knowing he's being taped. By the way, it was a setup from the get-go. But in terms of the actual allegations, if we're keeping score, Bill Clinton raped tons of women. LBJ raped tons of women. Trump's only accusation of rape is from someone who says, I've got no evidence whatsoever. It happened 30 years ago. I got no evidence. I didn't file a police report. No evidence whatsoever. And that's it.
In a dressing room at Bergdorf's. Okay.
Well, it was, remember those 9 women in 2016? Oh, they just came out of nowhere. It's like, oh, Trump raped me.
I'd also say, because, when you're getting into the weeds with someone on a certain topic, that often doesn't help because you're letting them control the dialogue.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd say about Trump. He has 6 children? All of them are immensely successful, at least 5. All of them are immensely successful. Ivanka Trump. Is it? No, not Ashley. What's the other one? Tiffany Trump. He has beautiful daughters. You think he's raised them poorly? Like that's where I would go with it, honestly. Compared to Kamala, who's childless cat lady. Maybe don't say that. Don't want to
say that. So wait a minute. Speaking of Trump and his family, what the heck was Melania doing with that video she released the other day?
Oh, the one thing she's pro-abortion?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I have little sympathy for the pro-lifers anyway, because for years and years and years, they've just been letting themselves be walked over. They don't do anything about it. So it's sad because babies die. But whatever. Maybe someday they'll learn. Donna Patrick says, morality isn't Trump's strong suit. He cheated on every wife. Slut shaming Kamala isn't a very good talking point. I disagree. He cheated on every wife. Every wife he has ever had still to this day loves him. So, and by the way, slut shaming Kamala Harris. How else do you explain Kamala's rise in California politics? That was the story. Was she slept with Montel Williams, then she slept with Willie Brown. Like that is the one and only thing that explains her rise in California politics. Is that an ugly fact? Sure it is. It's also the truth. Kelly says, my former life, I was in the gym business. I've heard more of male and female locker rooms than you don't want to hear. Yeah, I'll bet. So there you go. But anyway, again, I think, these are all things to bring up if and only if a voter does. Otherwise, you should be talking about, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And we've talked in other shows about some of this kind of stuff too. I got some random other tips for you guys for local candidates. You guys ready? Anyone supporting some local candidates? You guys should be thinking right now about election day operations and making sure you've got volunteers at polling places. Like right now is the time I would be surveying every polling location, pulling out every single, looking at the election history, looking at how many precincts are at every given polling location, figuring out how many voters I'm expecting at each polling location, and then figuring out, looking at Google Maps, where is 100 feet from the entrance to this polling location? Is it a good polling location to be at? Because depending on polling place, sometimes you'll be at a big school where every parking space in the parking lot is more than 100 feet away from the door. Other polling places, every parking space is less than 100 feet from the door, and therefore no one's going to be able to talk to you because they'll pull right in and go right in the door. And numbering. What's the very first most important polling place, the second, the third, the fourth, and lining up volunteers to be out there, waving signs, talking to voters. If you have the resources, organizing polling place parties, even getting multiple volunteers out there with a tent, with a boom box, getting voters' attention, waving signs for Trump, waving signs for Fink and O'Grady, waving signs for your candidate, having literature in hand, getting poll cards printed up. Election day operations are big, and they might not be huge as they used to be because of the absentee stuff, but there's still a lot of people that vote on time on election day. And the other thing is, this is the random thing out of the blue. I want to mention this because I saw some of this going on recently. If you guys are putting out yard signs, don't put them on public property, except on election day at polling places. Like there's a strip right off the exit by my house I call Losers Alley, because candidates put their yard signs there all the time, just off the highway exit, right behind behind a vacant field. Sometimes cops will park up there and do like a speed trap there. And I remember at the primary this year, every single campaign that put their yard signs at Losers Alley lost. All of them did. Every last one of them. Please, folks, if you've got yard signs, go drive around, find people that got Trump signs in the yard, and ask them if they can put your yard sign there. That's the way to do it. Don't put them on public property. It doesn't help. It only hurts. People will see them and get annoyed by them. Doesn't help. Allegan News says our Democratic Party headquarters in Allegan is next door to polling locations, so they put signs in their windows, and it is legal. Cool. Yeah. On election day, yes, have your yard signs out of the polling places. Absolutely.
Barry and your wife, ex-wife, the mother of 3 of his adult kids, isn't loved. Was he supposed to just leave her in the morgue, Donna Patrick?
I don't know what this even means.
No.
Yeah, crazy. Whatever. Yeah. Ivanka Trump can speak to Donald Trump's relationship with Ivana. But anyway. That's just the level liberals are at.
Yeah, she's no shit.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, guys, election day operations is a big deal. The absentee chase is a big deal. If you don't have a campaign that's doing this already, you can call your city or township clerk's office. You can subscribe for daily reports on the absentee voters, and they'll give you a list of who's applied for an absentee ballot each and every day. Time to call them or stop by their house or something. Put a letter in the mail, but calling's probably the easiest. You can absolutely do this. Go to your city or township clerk, ask for daily absentee reports for the whole jurisdiction or for just your precinct. And they know what to do. They've done this before. Campaigns do this all the time. They know how to get you daily reports. It's not hard. And the absentee ballots are out right now, folks. The election is on.
People already voted. We ran into some while door knocking on Saturday.
Already voted. There you go.
People already voted.
It's amazing.
It's so stupid.
Well, the people that have already voted are people whose minds are probably very much made up.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And once they've already voted, they are now people you don't have to contact anymore ever again. So
Yeah.
at least for the year. So that's nice. Jay asks, do clerks report on which absentee ballots have been returned or just who has applied? Typically, Jay, and again, your experience may vary, but in my experience, they give you 4 columns: application requested, application received, ballot sent, ballot received. And typically the columns 2 and 3 have the same exact data because they mail out the ballot the same day they get the application in. So typically they'll give you all of those. They say who just requested an application, time to hit them up. If not, then when they hit the second column, and then when they hit the fourth column, take them off your list, at least for this election.
Yeah.
Because they've already voted. So.
And then there's that other column that, rejected, that we don't know if we're going to be able to find out or not.
Yeah, apparently the Secretary of State decided she's just not going to report those anymore.
Yeah. So how do you know?
Another lawsuit necessary for that. We'll see. Amazing. If you folks haven't seen my interview with Jim Runstead last Tuesday, check that out. It was 5 days ago. It's on my channels. Yeah, just brazen illegality. It's unflippin' believable.
Yep.
But again,
rejected means, Jay, that when the ballot came in, it wasn't, maybe the signature didn't match, or they didn't date it, or they didn't do something, or whatever. They didn't do something correct, and the clerk's office rejected it. Now the clerk is supposed to reach out to that voter and tell them. So, but typically you could also, we could request that list as well from the Secretary of State. And now they're saying, no, they're not going to give it to people. They're not going to let you FOIA that, the rejected list. So you're relying on the clerks actually following up with these people that they were rejected and making sure they correct the mistakes.
Yeah. Chris says, I haven't gotten my ballot in mail yet. I'm going to go to my clerk's office tomorrow to get the ballot and fill out and turn it back in. Yep. The best way to do it is to not involve the U.S. Postal Service at all. Go to your clerk's office directly, apply right then and there, get a ballot right then and there, turn it back in right to them.
Yep.
Kelly,
we need to give a big shout out to Chris Gursky. That is a workhorse for the Republican Party, and she doesn't really get credit. Chris Gursky is a hard-working woman. She works hard for the party, for sure.
Right on. Jay says, sounds like FOIA has lost its teeth at ever having. Well, yeah, I mean, the government always tries to resist FOIAs, and sometimes it takes lawsuits to do it. It's very frustrating.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris has rejected because Republican. Well, yeah, that's the amazing thing, is that actually Democrats are far more likely to fuck up on their absentee voter applications, but the partisan clerk they'll say, oh, whatever, they just won't reject.
Yeah, but the QVF doesn't show modeled party, does it?
No, but so statistically, for example, say you're in Detroit, you think they're rigorously checking those signatures and rejecting the ones that aren't signed or signed in clearly not the voter's handwriting? No, of course they're not going to do that there. So, yeah, I mean, it's
and we're not allowed to challenge or view that process,
which is also illegal. Well, hopefully there'll be some more litigation about that too. Unreal. Anyway, I think that's about all I've got for tonight, guys. We've been going for more than an hour. It's been a good stream. Is there anything you guys need? Any events you guys have to promote before we sign off for the night?
No, it's 30 days away. No events. Enough. Enough.
Well, during knocking days, maybe.
Get out and during, yeah, we have phone banks on Thursday for Plymouth School Board and Adam Stathakis, and we have Monday the 14th, Northville School Board and Adam, and Livonia School Board and Adam. So that's all for State House 22. He was also one of our Super Saturdays. Yesterday was Adam, and then Dale Banyecki and Jim DeSena, who never replied. So we helped Dale and we helped Adam. We got out about 700 voter guides out, along with knocking doors. And so that was good. What else? Tigers are Wednesday at 3:05.
Yeah, amen. No more events. Yeah, the only events we've got on the calendar now are door days.
There's an event Wednesday for the judges, for the Supreme Court judges.
Yeah.
At Antonio's in Canton. So there's that. It's not cheap.
Wow.
It's like
I need as much help as I can get knocking doors in Detroit.
You what?
I need as much help knocking doors in Detroit as I can get.
And they can find you at the Hamtramck Victory Center. What are you guys' hours there?
We haven't established hardcore hours, but for this coming week, it will be 12 noon to 6 6 p.m. for this week. And then next week we're open up a little bit earlier.
Monday to Friday.
And then you can always find me at barryaltman.com, and you can leave me a message, hit me up anytime, and I'll return any message anybody leaves me. So if somebody wants to help me knock doors in Detroit or Highland Park, I don't think I'm going to do much more in Hamtramck. But if you want to help knock doors in Detroit or Highland Park, hit me up, barryaltman.com, and I will get back with you and we'll set something up.
All right, sounds great.
I have another
thing. And in Washington County, we're open pretty regularly too. Sorry, Patty, go ahead.
Macomb County, if there's anyone online, we need a voter guide from you guys. Something simple. I saw your flip book. It's awesome. I mean, I didn't even know that existed. It's like you're reading a book. It's really cool. But we need something that we can like just text to people that has it all like in a list. If there's anyone on from Macomb County, please put together something that we can share and text to people.
There you go, folks. Macomb, get on it. Get Patty your voter guide.
I got everybody. I've got everybody's. I don't have 13th congressional, but I have Washtenaw, Livingston, Oakland, Wayne 6, St. Clair County, Monroe County. So
there you go. All right, guys. As always, thanks for all you for Liberty. Get your voter file at rescuemichigan.com. And until next time, peace.
All right.